Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. City Clerk.
City Council Member, Agency Directors, Housing Authority Members, Hughes Leslie.
Present.
Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor, Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation today is with Ethan, and for the life of me, I can't pronounce it. Like perfume.
That's what he said.
From Grace Resources.
All right, City Council, thank you for inviting me to start our time here in the Lord. I'd like to first read a passage of Scripture, if that's all right. Psalm 127, 1 through 2. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. Let me pray. Father, nothing happens unless you will it. Lord, we can strive all we want to build a house, to watch a city, but Lord, you have the final say in what happens. God, we are thankful we cannot sabotage your plan. And Father, I pray for every heart in this room that as important decisions are made and things are discussed, that every heart would appeal to you, Lord, who is the maker of all things and the final decider of all things. Lord, I thank you for the men and women in this room and for the great wisdom they have and the important decisions they are making. Watch over them and watch over the city through them. Father, we pray for humble hearts before you today. In the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lord, do you want to do the pledge?
Please put your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Housing Authority consent calendar, is there anything to be pulled?
No items.
Thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
None.
Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve the housing consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously. Housing Authority, CC1. Any speaker cards?
I think that's a consent calendar.
Oh, that was on the consent calendar?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So we just go to, no, we go here, the regular consent calendar.
Okay, thank you. Anything to be pulled on the regular consent calendar?
No items.
Thank you. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards. Motion to approve consent calendar as currently comprised.
Is there a
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously. Public hearing item 1. Are there any speaker cards?
No speaker cards.
Let's waive the staff report.
Open the public hearing.
Open the public
I
hearing.
gotta open.
Drake.
Let's open the public hearing.
Is there a motion?
We need to waive the staff
waive the
report,
staff
then
report.
close the public
Oh, I
hearing.
got to waive it again?
Yeah, with the public hearing open.
You guys got memory problems?
Some of us do.
Okay, let's waive the staff report.
Now close it.
Now I got to close the public hearing. Closed. Couldn't you buy me a little door, you know, just like a mnemonic device there?
Motion to approve PH1.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously. Moving on to new business. New business item 1. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards.
Is there a motion?
I'll move NB1 and introduce ordinance number 1120.
Is there a second?
I'm sorry, before we do that, we did receive a public comment, an email public comment on
there
NB1,
was one.
just stating for the record.
So what do
There's
we
a
do with
copy
that
up
other
there.
than read it?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Mr. Mayor?
What do we do other than read it?
We're going to add it to the record, so for the record, this email will be included in the record of this meeting.
Okay, but I don't have,
You don't have to read it aloud. It
Great.
is generally supportive of the motion that has already been made.
okay, thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously. Council reports. Vice Mayor.
We're going to show an auto mall footage. All the people of the Antelope Valley should actually realize when they buy a car in the Antelope Valley, it goes towards law enforcement. It goes towards all the benefits that they get from the city's tax dollars. The economy thrives, everybody thrives. So I would encourage everyone to buy a vehicle.
A lot of people are not aware of obviously the general fund that drives the economic engine for the city of Lancaster is really funded by sales tax.
It's going to help huge our dealerships because look, you know, there's signage, all this beautiful signage, and even when you look at nighttime, they lit up and they look even better. So it's going to definitely help our community to what we have here, even a commuter driving by, and then our dealerships. So it's going to be a huge help.
I'm very excited. As you discussed earlier with regards to buying your family cars here, I too grew up here, so I have memories of getting our first cars here, and the fact that I'm now home with my kiddos, I just look to the future of being able to buy cars with them.
We've been waiting a long time. It's been a hard-fought battle with the help of the city getting it handled for us, and we really appreciate it and look forward to more growth in the future.
It's going to keep the local tax dollars here in the Antelope Valley area.
Lancaster is like the big little city. You have every brand just about. We have tons of brands, a lot of great dealers, a lot of great people in the community that live here and work here. And we're going to make sure we find the right car for you.
We need to do everything we can to let people that live here know what we have to offer and see 10, 11 different brands right there. So you don't need to go over the hill. You don't need to shop. You can live and work here.
Thank you. Councilmember Hughes Leslie.
So I think we can all say that the Antelope Valley Fair was just incredible this year. I believe we have a recap video to showcase some of the exciting events that happened.
Time so far. I've enjoyed the food that I've eaten so far, and I like that there's a little bit of everything. There's some music, there's a lot of rides to go on, and overall it's just been really great.
You can eat, you can ride rides, you can have a good time, you can dance, you can do all of the above here. So I recommend coming here to the AV Fair.
The family atmosphere is better than LA and OC Fair. I like the small town farm aspect of it.
I think the fairgrounds has been going on for 68 years, and in that time, they've only sold out twice for Fluffy and Darius Rucker. We had 4 sellouts in the 5 days that we were here. The vendors did as much or more than they did in 10 days. They did it in 5. We set a record for the most people for paid attendance on Saturday. The carnival set a record for them for the most carnival rides, the most people participating. So far more people participated than ever before, but we just squished it into 5 days.
I thought it was fabulous.
I also want to give a huge shout out to our volunteers who volunteered in the barns. As you know, we moved our livestock auction to the Poppy Festival in April, and this has just significantly improved the opportunities for other kiddos to participate. But I want to thank our volunteers especially because what they were doing during the fair was they were doing recruiting. Not only did they have animals in the barn so that kiddos and adults could pet the animals, ask questions about the different types of animals, but informing people about what 4-H is and what FFA is and how you get involved. So thank you so much again, because all of those people in the barns were volunteers. Thank you for putting in your hard work. Thank you for sharing your animals with the community. And I really look forward to the increased numbers of those who are going to participate in the livestock auction next year.
I forgot you're a real fair family. She grew up at that fair. It was a whole different vibe. You know?
It's a much better vibe. Just so for the record, the demographics of this area do not support a 10-day fair. So they can go one day, and if they eat, they have a family of 2 or 3. They go to the events, they go. It costs $400 or $500 to do all that. It's not necessarily the fair's fault that it costs that much. It's the way things are right now. So we split it in half. That way, in the Poppy Festival, they have enough time after this one to come back to the fair next year. So hopefully it'll be just as good at the Poppy Festival. And I thought it was a great fair. It was just, there was a ton of people there. Everyone had fun. Everyone that participated in it made money. I think we did well.
Good. Thank you. Moving on, we have the video for the Lancaster Police Department open house. We could do that.
This marks a new era, really a new era. The way we approach crime now is changing dramatically. It's going to be high-tech, it's going to be exact, it's going to be relentless. The message out there is, for the really bad guys, we're coming for you. For people who need help, we're also coming for you. We want to help you. The primary purpose of this is to sever that causal connection. You know, it's intervene early, intervene before somebody has to go to jail.
I want to congratulate the community because this is our building, this is our community, this is our police department. So as much as I love to take credit along with the rest of the council and vice mayor and mayor, this is the result of our community coming together. We hear our community, we love our community, and it's my children within this community. And I know there are many other parents out there who are just as excited and filled with pride. So it means so much. Today we're making history. Today we're making a very concerted effort and investment into our community, but more importantly into our future leaders, and that's our children. It took about 10 years, and I know that might seem like a long time to some, but it was necessary. We brought in a lot of professionals, we consulted our community, we consulted, other agencies. This is the very first. We're the leaders in this endeavor, so we had to make sure we did it right.
Okay, Rod, you got all your equipment, you got your fancy building, you got everything you could possibly ask for. Now we want you to give us what we want, which is taking bad guys off the street.
Yes, sir, and that is on the way. And in fact, steps are already being taken, so we're excited. And I got some more guys like that guy in the back there.
I know he scared me.
On the way, coming to see you next month. So So we're excited. We're going to do some big things and some good things. Thank you all for your support to this city and to the safety of the citizens here.
A new day's coming. And if Trump wins, I'm going to write him a letter and ask him to start the purge right here. Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? Moving on. So 2 weeks ago, I went to a longevity conference. We moved up and down the state to all the latest and greatest biotechs and the research that's coming in for age-related diseases. One of the reasons I did that is because for 16 years that I've been mayor, and for 16 years before I was mayor, the health of this community is deplorable. We have a much higher mortality rate than anywhere else in the county, and probably the state. We are living proof that how long you live is not determined, how does that saying go? By your epigenetic code, it's determined by your zip code. And unfortunately, we live in a zip code that we can count on a shorter life. In all of this time, I've been hesitant to get involved because it's really not something cities traditionally get involved in. And for all of this time, I've relied on AV Hospital to do something, the Antelope Valley Healthcare District. It's been all of this time, and we still have third world medicine. So what I would like you to start thinking about is there are incredible, new, innovative ways to treat people that is just not coming up here. It's just not coming up here. An example would be, if you break your hip, I mean, if you're my age, if you break your, or Marvin's age, you guys are okay. There's a 50% chance you die in a year, and that's nationwide. I would suspect it is much higher in the Antelope Valley. And I want to do something about it. And I think maybe a way to do it is to have a health fair where we at least inform people of what they are not getting, what their doctors are not prescribing. There is no reason for the deplorable nature of people's health in this city. And I'd like you all to think about it, see if that's something we should dive in. But if we don't do it, no one else is. I'm confident of that. I've waited and waited and waited. Any comments?
All true.
So let's do it. Okay. I will continue to work on that, and I'm going to ask you for your assistance. Now, the other thing I did is I went to Japan. It was a very, you know, that jet lag, there's something to that. And we were in and out. But we met with officials and corporate officials of a very high level. The nation of Japan is giving us $30 million to build our hydrogen center. It's the first time in history that, it's called NATO, is the name of the government agency, that they've ever gone outside the country. And they came here. And they came here for a reason, because they know we are going to promote hydrogen development in a way that no one else can, quite frankly. But I want everybody to understand the purpose of this. It is our goal to drive down the cost of electricity to the consumer 50%. 50%. You don't need me to tell you what's happened to your utility bills. You don't need me to tell you the choices you now have to make. You can air condition your home, and you have to give things up to do it. It affects their diet. It affects whether they make their car payment. It affects whether they're able to pay the rent. The choices people are now having to make in an area where we are hitting 120 degrees on some days is deplorable. And it's a choice no one should have to make. But if we don't do something about it, no one will. I'm absolutely convinced of that. But this summer, there were some older people who died in their homes because air conditioning was not turned on. It's just too hot. We can't dissipate heat, as well as some of the younger people in this room, is the reason that happens. That is going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. We are now measuring the cost of electricity in body bags. That is happening across the nation. I want it to stop in the city of Lancaster. And I am absolutely convinced we have the ability to do that. The technology is right there waiting for us to utilize it. And so we're going to proceed as rapidly as we can to make that happen. We're going to be the first city in the entire world. No, Namie beat us. That's right. Namie is our sister city in Japan, and the tidal wave wiped out the entire city when Fukushima went up. They're already converted to hydrogen. We're going to be the next city. But they're a very small town. We're much bigger. We're going to be the first. And I have no doubt that the rest of the nation is going to follow. But if we don't do it, it's 20 years away, when we could do it in 2 or 3. And so that's my goal. I hope everybody embraces that. Because if we get rid of half of that power bill, that is money that the people can now use in the community. It'll be a different community. So that's what we were doing. And while we were there, Tamara did the most amazing job. She organized the trip. She moved me in and out of meetings like, I mean, my mother never talked to me the way she did. But I was on time for every meeting. I thought you did a magnificent job. I thought it was very difficult. You were dealing with sometimes you were talking to people who didn't speak English, and you still made it happen. It was truly remarkable. Thank you. So that's what I've been doing. Thank you. City Manager.
So a few quick updates. It is the fall, it is event season. So never to be outdone by last year's event season. Parks is on their merry way. We are moving the Halloween haunt from where it used to occur over at the stadium, because that's under construction right now, turning that into the soccer team's home, an all-purpose soccer stadium. So that's moving over to Lancaster Soccer Center this year. And it'll be not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, the 19th. So mark your calendar, get your costumes on, and get over there. Fields of Drafts, those tickets are on sale now. That event does sell out every year, so if you haven't bought them, buy those tickets now. That is Saturday, November 2nd, and again, that event is moving from the stadium over to the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds, so it'll be a little bit bigger, have a little bit more vendors there, and have a little more activities. And then I don't think that the police department wanted to be outdone, so they're doing one of their event of their own, and I will allow Chief to talk about that.
Thank you. So that's this Saturday. It's the National Faith in Blue weekend, and we're having a peace march. And this is a great event. It's a national event. They've been doing them since 2020. And the premise of it is that we have to work with community to strengthen those bonds that make us great and help us keep our community safe, and realizing that starts with the many faith-based organizations that we have in our city. So with our partners from the Sheriff's Department, we're going to meet at Living Faith Cathedral right near Jay and Sierra, and we're going to march down to Jane Reynolds Park, where we'll have activities, vendors, food trucks, and just a celebration of peace and faith. So we're really excited about that. Starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday. We'll probably march about 11 and the event ends at 4 p.m.
You realize that's about a half a mile. Are you guys sure you can march a half a mile? I couldn't help it.
We'll have a couple cars.
I think rumor has it AVTA will be there and have shuttles.
Thanks. City Clerk?
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards may be found on the back table of the council chambers. If you have completed one, please ensure you have placed it in the basket so you may be recognized. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please keep in mind state law prohibits the council from acting on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
Doug McAllister.
Speaking of age, I got up too fast. I work on my hip. My name is Doug McAllister. I'm Vice President for Frontier Communications. I've been here before. I'm back here to once again raise awareness and also thank your public safety folks for taking the efforts they've had. We've had major issues with cable theft, and I'm trying to raise awareness around the state among elected officials and such about that. It is, in my view, a homeland security issue. We've seen military bases go down. We've seen hospitals, 911. When the cables are gone, they don't work. And so we've been pushing very hard. It's not just for Frontier. It's SCE. It's anybody who uses copper in their networks. And so my focus here, I'm driving 6 hours today to do one thing for 3 minutes, and that is to bring this back to your attention. We had 2 more thefts just yesterday. And they're very impactful. The cost to Frontier is in the many millions of dollars of this right now. But that pales in comparison to the impacts to customers and to government and to first responders and to hospitals and things. And so I am currently putting together a consortium of electeds around the state who could work with me to look into how we might be able to leverage influence to focus on a solution, because it's only getting worse. Copper is going up in price, and it's looking to go up quite a bit by the end of the year and into next year. And it's low-hanging fruit for folks to go and just take it. And so we're working with state, federal, and I'm focused on working with the local officials, such as you, to come up with solutions that we might be able to use city by city. What will happen is like whack-a-mole. You all get it under control for us, and we work with you on that. Here, they go someplace else, and then we got to hit that, and we just keep doing that. So I'm looking for a broader solution, and for that, based on my years on your side of the dais in Murrieta, I just know what can happen when the right people put their heads together to bring pressure to bear, and also solutions to bear as well. So that's my main reason for being here, is just to highlight it again. Once again, I really do appreciate what you all are doing. I'm almost done. With that, I know it's a very difficult crime to deal with, because it happens everywhere. You never know what it is. But your law enforcement's doing a great job, and we look forward to seeing these folks get caught eventually. So I'll leave the rest of my whatever time I have none left. I'll leave the rest to you.
No, you're okay. I think this is becoming a critical public safety problem, because when it goes down, there's no communication. So it is getting worse. It seems to me that we're probably very close to a technological place where we could use the drones and things to have an immediate response. I imagine the governor won't let us put a 50 caliber on the drone, but it really does have to be a maximum enforcement thing. And so I would like us to work with them. There is a solution we could do together on this.
The ultimate solution is that we get rid of copper.
I'm sorry,
when we just use our fiber. But we're working with the CPUC on that right now to get permission to move everybody from copper to fiber. Once the copper is no longer in the air, they can't steal it. That's the ultimate solution. But until that time, I'll take into consideration the 50 caliber. I'm not sure that'll fly, but it's a thought. So.
I don't understand why we couldn't have a situation where our AI program immediately knew where where the cable was severed.
Yeah.
and we launch a drone within seconds, we could be having it on film,
Yeah,
couldn't we?
I'll leave it at working on it.
Okay,
We don't want to give away the tricks of the trade here.
thanks.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Okay. David Paul. You're late. Should we take it?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, good afternoon. That got me thinking. My wife told me the other day that our landline is working again. Someone stole the copper and it was a couple of months. I didn't get my birthday calls from my family because that's the only number they have. That's okay.
You sure?
The thing of it was that astounded me, not only the fact that I still have a landline, is that the state police, which is like a mile away, had the same problem. They couldn't get calls. And that seems to be a silly problem that there can be a solution for, much like this desert dumping. I'm on a page and I see these things, and one time out of frustration, half joking, I wrote that we should get a bunch of old guys that know how to use a rubber hose and just beat the smack out of somebody to help them learn. You know, it's going downhill. Mayor, I love your hydrogen. I've been reading a lot of stuff about the future and the needs for power with AI, and Bill Gates wants to buy his own nuclear reactor so he has enough power to do what he wants. And it's crazy. We don't know what the future is, but every little bit we can have helps. And I appreciate you all understanding what older people go through in a fixed income. You know, we want to do our best, but the bills just get more out of hand, and it's always hard. So I don't know what the solutions are, and I don't want to be too pessimistic about what my real opinion is about what we can do. But I do appreciate you doing it. And the Parks Department, I wanted to compliment you. You had the Cedar Center open mic night for years, and I really enjoyed that event because it's the only place you can go and get a luxurious entire 7 minutes to talk. So I used to take advantage of that, and it helps because you see a lot of young people in need, and there's a lot of diverse opinion, and you know, I would like to contribute to some solution, but at this point, it's keeping me alive. That's my main focus. That's why, again, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Patricia McAllister, we're going to give you a special exception to the rule. You got to get your card in before we start. Next time, okay?
I came earlier and he said you started at 2 o'clock, but someone told me you started 15 minutes early.
Huh.
So I'm always on time. I'm not that kind
No,
of
no, no,
person.
no. I meant when you do your speaker card, it has to be before we call the speaker card. So the
Oh,
reason
okay.
for that is people, and you didn't do it, but
This is my
what
first
people
time
will
here.
do is they'll
It's my
make
first
it, they
time
want to
here.
be the last word, so they
Okay.
wait. So we had to
Okay,
do it
thank
that
you.
way. Okay?
My first time here.
Okay,
I'm
good.
from Los Angeles. I've been here, well,
Start the
from
clock over
originally.
again.
How much time do I get? 3 minutes? Oh, I'm originally from Chicago, but I've been in California 21 years, lived in Los Angeles all the time. I've been in Lancaster 3 years. And I was very impressed when I got here. It's clean and quiet and things like that. But now, since the pandemic, I see that things are not being kept up. The boulevard is, the streets are horrible. Not the streets, but the sidewalks, very dirty. We need some power cleaning. The bus stops, garbage. So I'm seeing it going down slowly. And I'm wondering what streets and sanitation is. I'd like to see their budget, what's going on here, because if you clean it once a month, it wouldn't look like that. And that attracts homelessness. When they see that it's unkept, then they feel like, well, they don't care. We can come on in too. See, that's what happened to Los Angeles. That's the problem with me. And I was at the meeting for the new police department. I was very impressed how you set up the system here for our safety and for the safety of everyone. And also, last night I was about 9:30, about to go to bed, and I heard 6 shots. And it was so close, I hit the floor. You know, I just fell because I knew that was somewhere close. Not you know when a shot is close and when it's far away. But anyway, yes, I think we're having a lot of problems here. And I did get an email from the, I still go to the meetings in LA, Board of Supervisors. And I got an email saying that they wanted the migrants to come to Los Angeles County to work and to tell them that they don't have to worry about immigration. Well, I think that's why you're seeing more crime, because they're here, and I'm sure that the thousands who came here, all of them didn't get jobs. So they're gonna make a living somewhere, in some way, and that's probably through crime. So yes, I did get that email about 10 months ago. So anyway, just beware, and I'm glad to see you have a new enforcement over there. Another thing, we're having problems. I live right on Jackman, and we're having problems with cats. They're scratching up our cars. I called City Hall here, and the lady said, well, they have rights. I said, I'm sure they do, you know, and but we don't have any. I mean, mine is so scratched up. They come on, they do it every day, but I don't get worried about it, you know, because I know I can get that fixed. But they're scratching up Mercedes now, so that's when the people are getting pretty excited. So, but my main emphasis is the cleanliness of the Lancaster. So I think we need to check with streets and sanitations, because we don't want it to start looking like Los Angeles. And then people will move, they'll leave here, and we'll have other problems too. So thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you. Any comments from the council?
I have one. I'd like us to look into, my understanding is there's a new epidemic, or I'm just aware of it, with nitrous oxide, that the smoke shops are selling it. We need to stop that.
Yes, sir. And in fact, the assistant city manager and I just recently met and talked about that. We're putting a plan of action together now to deal with that issue. It is an issue.
Okay.
Is nitrous oxide illegal?
It's illegal to ingest it unless it's used in a medical environment. So, and it's illegal for these shops to sell it.
Okay. I'm just curious. I also understand they're taking the hemp law and using it to sell THC, and we're on that, is that right?
Yeah, we're finding that there's THC. THC is being placed in some of those inhalers. So that's another issue that we're addressing, and we're looking at some of the smoke shops for that as well.
City Attorney, couldn't we just do an ordinance to get rid of the smoke shops? I don't see anything good coming out of them.
I'll look into it.
Thank you. Good. None of you guys smoke, do you? Okay, good.
Ken does. Not cigarettes.
Okay, that's it. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.